Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Thursday show. It is CLX Foundry Live. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and of course, joining us live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it is none other than our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and today's master builder, it's Zach Killingsworth.
Hi. Hello.
Okay, I am mostly better. How did the show go on Tuesday, guys?
Went really good.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Well,
Yeah, we managed.
today we've got a good. I'm glad to hear that. Today we've got a fun PC to build. But first, let's talk about all the things that you all want to know, and that is going to be like, what about the PC we're giving away, which is actually really cool. So you can find out more by typing exclamation giveaway. I did see somebody type exclamation space giveaway, but that is, and then quickly figured out that is not the answer. It's exclamation giveaway to find out how you can enter. There's going to be codes given out throughout the show today. We give codes out on Tuesdays over on the Kick side. Thursdays here on the Twitch side. You can also find codes on our social media, that is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, and Facebook. You've also got opportunities to get them potentially in our Discord at discord.gg/clxgaming. You also have a chance to get them on my streams, both on which are simulcast on the purple and the green. So pay attention, listen up, watch for the codes, and who knows, you might just be walking away with a free PC at the end of the month. But right now, let's jump into this project we've got for Chandra in South Carolina.
All right, so starting out for our processor, we've got Intel Core i9-14900KF. To cool that, we've got a CLX Quench 360 AIO in black. For our motherboard, we've got an ASRock Z790-C. This is the DDR5 version. And for our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Giel 32 gig DDR5 5600 speed in RGB, so a total of 64 gigs there. For our storage drives, we've got a couple of them. Our main drive that the OS is going to be on is a Patriot 2 terabyte P300 NVMe drive, and then a secondary storage drive, we have a Seagate Barracuda 4 terabyte. For our video card, we have maybe a first on the show. If not a first, it's been a long time. We've got an MSI RTX 4090 Supreme. You can see it's got hoses coming out attached to an AIO. So this is an AIO cooled video card. For our fans, we've got 7 of our Game DS Aeolus M2s in white. And for our power supply, we've got a Game DS 1000 watt Helios P2 Gold fully modular.
Nice. All right, well, let's start tearing into this because this is going to be a fun one. Now, as for our case, this is actually a set obelisk. It's a glass mid-tower white. Now, this is a little bit different than some of the other builds that we've been doing lately, such as the NV5 or the O11s. So how does this differ from them when it comes to its design?
So this case is still an ATX case. However, it is a little bit smaller than an NV5 or an O11. It's more of the traditional style where our main intake fans will be in the front, exhausting out the rear with our power supply in the bottom. And this customer really went for just putting all their money into hardware. Nothing too fancy, but yeah, this thing's gonna perform great. Obviously, very high-end components. Oh, sorry, Zach. I'll take your finger with it. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Pinch.
I love how the front just pops right off. Makes it so much easier. Don't forget, if you've got questions in the chat, please feel free to let us know. We love to answer questions. I see Tristan over on TikTok. Hello. Good to see you. We got the Facebook chat up. And everybody else is here. Harper, hello. Welcome in. Glad to have you. And Vin City, hello. What's going on? Yes, I came back.
You back?
Man, I woke up on Monday and was just dead. Nothing worked. So, and now I'm on ultra sleep mode just to make sure that I'm ready for what's happening at the end of the month, because next, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, we will be actually in Las Vegas, Nevada for the Level Up Expo. It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. And I've never been to Vegas before, so I think it'll be really cool. You know what else is really cool? This motherboard is an ASRock Z790C. Let's take a look at that IO shield real fast. Now, the upside is there's not a ton for connectivity, but there's enough here to really make a dent in anything you're trying to connect. Obviously, at the top, we've got our PS2 port, just in case you got any legacy gear. Down below there, you've got your USB 3.5 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, and that's across those bottom. Then you've got your two, where'd it go? There it is. Your one USB 2.0. You've got another USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2. That's the Type C down there. That means 20 gigs, 10 up, 10 down. So really great if you've got a high-speed dock you want to add in there in case you're like connecting, peripherals. And then, of course, down below we've got our Ethernet port and our antenna plus our sound connectivity. Nice. Now, as for a processor, this person, Chandra, decided to go with an Intel Core i9-14900KF. Now, this is a beast of the processor, and if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the top-of-the-line processor currently available from Intel. Paul, what can you tell me about this processor?
Yeah, so this is a insanely good processor. It's got 24 cores, 32 threads. That's broken down into 8 performance cores that have hyper-threading, and then 16 efficiency cores. It also has a base speed of 3.2, and it will boost all the way up to 6.0. So very fast processor here.
Yeah. Question coming in from TikTok. Conductor asks, is there a list I could get to build a first-time PC? I'm over console.
Yeah, are you looking for the specs for this specific build, or just specs in general for a build?
And while we're waiting on an answer for that, another question coming in from CGGGG. Is a Ryzen 7 7700X and a 4060 good for Fortnite, COD, and GTA?
Yeah, it's going to play those well. Now, getting into GTA and maybe COD, depending on which one you're playing, you might run at 1080 just to achieve the higher frame rates. But yeah, that's a solid configuration there.
Nice. Yeah, lots of hoses in this build. Absolutely. And yes, as Nicole mentioned, it's going to be next weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend. Which means, by the way, we will not be having a Thursday show next week because we will be traveling. It is a travel day for us.
Getting on a plane and going to Vegas.
Yes, indeed. Kind of excited. I'm not even kind of excited. I'm super excited. I can't wait to take the Tesla tunnel. Did you know there's a Tesla tunnel?
I heard about it. I didn't realize it was in Vegas, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It goes from like the convention center over to the strip or something.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it's all automated.
Are they like self-driving and all that?
Yep.
Oh,
and they're just in this tube tunnel thing that just goes.
Let's just hop in the driver's seat and we'll steal a Tesla and drive it back here.
I don't even think it has a driver's seat.
Oh no. Where's the robot sit?
Right? Exactly. Wow. Here we go. Now,
Cortana, we need space.
Yeah.
All I was thinking of, honestly, was Total Recall. Like the original Total Recall with Schwarzenegger, where it's that, welcome to Johnny Cab. I can help you. Don't open that door while we're moving.
Yeah.
8,000 levels of annoyance, and yet, yeah, still hilarious. Just anything I could get maybe under like a 2 gig. So, Conductor, what I would definitely recommend you going to is heading over to our website at clxgaming.com and look at our ready-to-ship models. It's our RTS area. That means these are pre-built and they're already designed. So you can take a look at what you're and gauge the budget down and see what's available for that kind of money. All right, up next, we've got our memory, and this is going to be, wait. I must have this you said 64 gigs, correct? So these are 232 gigs?
232 gigs, yes.
Okay, got it. Sorry, I was mismarked on mine. 232 gig sticks of Gale DDR5 5200. That's 64 gigs of RAM across 2 channels. Now, some people do that with 4. Some people do it with 2. What's the big difference?
So, essentially with memory, if you have, so we obviously have 64 gigs here and 2 32 gig sticks. So if we did 4 16s, we'd have the same total capacity, but 4 16s is going to perform a little bit better than just 2 sticks of 32. Now my recommendation and what I do on my personal builds is I prefer going with the 2 sticks. That way I've got 2 open slots to upgrade later. What I've noticed in my gaming and testing is that the frame rate difference between 2 sticks and 4 sticks is really negligible. There's very few instances where you'll actually notice it in a game.
Nice. And as cool as that is, the other thing that I wanted to point out that's really cool is the brand new CLX Quench 360 cooler that we've got on there. that we saw Zach put in there, and now it's got that new light up cover. Love it. It's awesome. Now, as far as operating systems go, let's chat about what's in his hand. That is a 2 terabyte Patriot P300M.2. It's an NVMe, and it just pops right into the motherboard. So, Paul, let's talk about differences between this and, say, a solid state or mechanical.
Yeah, so this is a NVMe drive. It is part of the solid state family, technically. Typically, when you hear solid state drive, you're thinking of like a 2.5-inch drive, which was the kind of the first introduction of solid state devices. There were some others out there, but it was the mainstream first one that came out. And when those came out, they were way faster on boot times and just everything in general than our standard hard disk drive. So we like having this for our main drive, and then if you need extra storage just for games and stuff, one of these standard hard drives is a great way to get a lot of storage without spending a lot of money.
Agreed. Angel Rain wants to know if this is pre-recorded. Absolutely not.
Every Tuesday and
Absolutely
Thursday.
not.
We pre-record these every Tuesday and Thursday.
Use our crystal ball to know which questions you'll ask, and that's how we can answer them on the fly.
Exactly. We've got a conversation happening over here on the TikTok side.
Okay.
So we can.
Right?
Yeah, CGGG. There you go. So, Yobword mentions that RAM at higher capacity is less fast overall. The more slots used, the better. 232s versus 416s.
True, yeah. Like I mentioned, if you have the 416s instead of the 232s, it's technically going to be faster if you did like a mem test or some sort of testing on it. But what I've seen in games is I don't really notice a difference between 4 sticks or 2 sticks, even if it's the same capacity.
Yeah, I have 64 gigs. I went with 416s.
Silver hardware.
for different reasons, though. What are you giggling at over there?
We have some people looking into the studio. They're making very nice gestures towards us. Don't worry about it.
Got it. There we go. Sasko's coming in over on the green side. Hello. Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello. Oh, my goodness. There we go. You found us not so long ago? Yes. The show's not pre-recorded, but I am. Yes, Ivory, that is also correct. Also correct. All right, now we're getting this mounted onto our standoffs. You want to walk people through what those are?
Yeah, so you can see Zach screwing in the screws that will mount this motherboard to the case. Now, those screws aren't going directly into the case, they're going into standoffs. And what those do is separate the frame of the chassis and the motherboard. That way our motherboard isn't making direct contact with bare metal and can cause any shorting out. So when you're installing a motherboard, you want to make sure you got all your standoffs in the right holes. Typically cases, if it's an ATX case, it's going to come with the standard ATX standoffs pre-installed, but it's always good to check that before you throw your motherboard in.
Yeah.
I had to mess up to prove I'm human.
Yeah. It's not pre-recorded.
It's not pre-recorded.
Yeah.
It's not pre-recorded if I mess up and have to go back.
So was there a standoff that
There's
needs to go in?
it's that 10th standoff
Yeah,
that
so-
I'm too much of a server man to let it go.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit since we're here. So most motherboards typically have 9 ATX motherboards typically have 9 holes to mount it. Now some motherboards, we've seen them on ASRock. I don't know if I've seen it across other brands.
Just ASRock.
But sometimes they put in a 10th mounting hole, and so that one doesn't come pre-installed, so that's what we're installing right now, and then we'll put the motherboard back in.
Nice. Now, let's take a look over on to... Whoa. Do we? It's not refreshing for me. Hang on, let me refresh over here on the Facebook chat side, people. Hello.
Oh, so much smoother.
Hello, there we go. Mary Joy Clemente asks, I just got a PC from you guys on Tuesday. I'm so excited to get it. Nice. We're excited for you to get it too. That'll be a lot of fun. And of course, if you get a PC from us, we would love to see how you use it and how you set it up. So in our Discord, there's actually a section to see your PC setups. So once you get it built in, take a picture, throw it in the Discord. It'll be a lot of fun to see. Also, we'd love to know, what you're going to be using it for. Gaming, streaming, design. DJ broke it. Yes. So there's your first code, people. It's Bloom. BPAL. Bloom. BLOOM dash British Petroleum, Alabama. There you go. Okay. Now, as you can see with this PC, the motherboard actually sits directly on the back of the case. So this is a full depth case. What are some of the advantages of this?
So this is more of the traditional style, and what this does is allows our power supply to be here in the bottom. Now typically we've seen these power supply shrouds, that's what this area of the case is called. So our power supply is going to be under here. It'll get its intake from the bottom and exhaust it out the back, kind of like a similar design to the 3/4 depth where none of the heat from the power supply will be in there. There's also some room under this area for extra hard drives, so that's where this one's going to go.
Gotcha. Perfect. Which is great. You want to talk about that hard drive yet? I think we already touched on it a little bit, but that is going to be a 4 terabyte, 3.5-inch Western Digital hard disk drive. Now, hard disk drives are mechanical. So what does that mean?
So mechanical means there's moving parts inside of here. So if we look at this hard drive, you can see this kind of circular area here. That is full of platters that are stacked on top of each other, and there's a little arm that will actually spin, and that's what reads the data off those spinning platters. So that's how this works. Now, this is what's been around forever. These things are fine to use, but they are quite a bit slower than these M.2 drives. So that's why we put our operating system on the M.2 and use this for storage.
One might call that a digital or an analog drive over
oh, there we go.
a digital drive, maybe?
A&D. Good ointment.
I mean, it's better than a tape drive. Let's call that.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the prefix tells you what action to put it in. That is also a good point. Tape drives. DJ is old. Listen, I watched a documentary once.
Featuring DJ.
It's actually a lie. I've actually seen a tape drive PC before. They're these weird cartridges and you just slide it in. It's funky. Glad I'm doing better. I'm glad you think so. Still got a little bit of the right here, but I'm gonna do a lot of sleeping this week, so lot of sleeping. Mary mentions that I'll be streaming some games with it and also do digital arts. This upgrade will be very helpful for me. Well, awesome. Glad to hear it. That's great.
What's the upgrade that we're coming from?
Yeah, what were you using before, Mary Jo? Mary Joy. Mary Jo. Mary Joy. DJ Reed. It's a Y, not an E. Yeah. Lots of hot lemon tea. Yeah. That was yesterday. I also have this citron and ginger. It's like an orange and ginger marmalade kind of a. It's, I don't know. We used it. I got it from when I was in Australia, and it's just always good. You put a scoopful in there, you pour hot water in it, you stir it up, and it's like this orangey joy down your throat. All right, now as we take a look in the back. Unlike some other cases, this one doesn't have the Velcro that we've seen in other builds. So what are some of the constraints or limitations that you have when when conducting your cable management, given the fact that there's not a space in the back of this like there are some of the other designs of cases?
So this guy has 3 different tiers of tie-down straps or tie-down spots. So like we've got here, here, and here just coming down. So instead of like having like the little plastic grills that are ribs that align where cables can go, we're just going to be tying them down to the tie-down spots.
Gotcha. Nice. Oh, Mary Joy said, I'm literally coming. I literally had a laptop and I've been saving up money ever since I saw the CLX site. This would be my first ever PC. Yeah. What? That's awesome.
Very nice. Thank you for choosing
us. That's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll make sure that you get something that's amazing. James Olcott, hello. You actually used a reel-to-reel? Yeah, those were always an interesting thing. And welcome to Laptop PC Club. Yes, Shasta was on there for a while too. Angel Rain asks, do you guys like gaming yourselves? If so, what do you guys like to play?
Oh yeah, we're pretty big gamers here. Right now, I am big into WoW Classic, Season of Discovery. It's been out for a while. Phase 3 just came out. In Raiding Guild, we just full cleared Sunken Temple. So
Nerd.
yeah, we're big gamers here.
Zach, how about you?
I've been playing Valheim. It's been pretty fun.
Nice. And yes, I'm a full-time content creator. Used to be a competitive player and a shoutcaster for about 5 or 6 different games. Lately, I've been really enjoying, because I'm now a Dying Light partner and a Ubisoft partner, so I've been really enjoying all the new updates with Dying Light 2, but also with Ubisoft. I'm a huge Rainbow Six Siege fan, obviously a massive Assassin's Creed fan, Far Cry. So lots of different options there, but yeah, like that's what I do, aside from voice acting and DJing.
So do you only play Classic, or do you do Classic and, is it retail?
Only Classic. Only Classic. Retail is...
For people that need to get good?
Yes. Retail's pay to win, pretty much.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's not WoW,
Oh my
that I'm
God.
playing, it's some Elden Ring or any Souls game. Really into those as well. New DLC for Elden Ring coming out this summer. Pretty hyped about that.
Nice.
DLC in Souls games is always legendary.
Oh my God. So I know for a fact that Jason's going to recognize this. James Alcott also said, also was taught how to use punch cards to run programs. Yes, and punch cards were a thing. They were a thing. It was wild.
That sounds like analog right there.
Yup.
You had a Tandy back then? So Jason in production, Atomic Sinclair, good grief. That is the age old, that's the beginning. Back in the beginning, when it all started. Right? Because listen, if you had 16K, you were a pimp. That's ridiculous.
So
Kensu's in the house. What's going on?
My uncle, when he was working for NCR, all of those had like 128 on them, but it was 128 locked. And so they all were like set for 64.
Okay.
And then you went in and changed it to where it unlocked the whole system.
Maybe move some
and
like
made it
jumpers
faster,
around or
and,
something.
yeah.
Some dip switches.
Yeah. He's like, yep. Pretty crazy stuff.
Danny Butts in the house. Welcome. See Cornbread. Yes, so far that is the only one that's been released to my knowledge. Right? It's funny to think that my first 5 or 6 computers combined still didn't have the processing power of my S23. Like, it's kind of nuts to think about. Petabytes before GTA 7 is... Oh, yeah. That's going to be an interesting one.
Shoot, maybe before GTA 6.
By the way, if you're over on the Twitter side, please make sure you say hello. We have no problem seeing you, saying hello, greeting you. What specs will this PC have? Well, let me go ahead and share the link for it. There we go. Put this in the chat for you. And you can click that right there. The only difference is we've got 64 gigs instead of 32. Should have thought about that ahead of time, shouldn't I? Okay. Now, we've obviously got the case flipped upside down. You can see where the feet are because we're going to be getting everything ready for our power supply here in a little bit. But you can notice there's always a raised feet to raise the system up off the ground so you get good airflow. Paul, what are some best practices when it comes to where you're going to position your PC and how you ensure that it stays cool?
Yeah, so best practices are to always have it on a hard, non-conductive surface, so any hardwood, tile, anything like that. If you have it on carpet, you just want to try to keep this gap between the feet and the bottom of the chassis clear. Now in this case, our main intake is in the front, so it's a little bit less important, but our power supply is still gonna get its intake from down there. So you want that as unobstructed as it can be.
Yes, so no shag carpeting.
No shag carpeting.
Full size power supply, yes.
I believe
That's not
so.
an extended one. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as for our power supply, is that what we're going to next?
Yeah, I'll at least get it out of the box. And we can
I
go
will
there.
Okay.
take that hard drive real quick.
All right.
That was why I was
Yeah.
asking.
Oh, I
this has
gotcha.
a hard drive bay. As we can see, our hard drive sits right here, and we've got feet to where we can move it, so we can move the whole tray forward if we have a big power supply. But I think we'll be okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and move it just because I like having extra room with power supplies anyway.
Now, we do have... So let's talk about this new power supply we've got here. This is a 1,000 watt Game Diaz Helios, the P21000G. It's an 80 plus gold, so this is a nice upgrade, and it doesn't have any cables attached to it yet. So, Paul, what kind of a power supply is that?
So this is a fully modular power supply. Like you mentioned, it's 1,000 watts, 80 plus gold, fully modular. So what that means is none of the cables are soldered into the power supply. We've got these ports right here that we'll be plugging our cables into. Anytime you get a modular power supply, it's going to come with a bag or a box or something with all the cables in it. So we'll get our cables out of here. And then basically what we can do is pick out the cables that we need for the builds, like 24-pin CPU, all that good stuff that we need for the build. And then the extras will go back in the accessories bag. And that way if the customer ever upgrades, they've got the cables to use if they need to.
Hashim, yes, I am back, my buddy. Hello to Zach and Paul, absolutely.
Hello, hello.
One thing to keep on, because I know we've got people talking about like, hey, we've got, you know, different levels of gaming performance. It doesn't actually, you don't have to have absolute top tier to get really good performance. But, I mean, it always helps. It's future proofing for sure. Future proofing for sure. Oh, on the, oh, wait, there's a story for Need for Speed? Has there always been a story? Like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit back on the PlayStation 1, there was no story.
Oh.
It was just upgrade your stuff. Man, I got all the way up to that sporty McLaren and then just won everything forever.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, now we've got these cables out here. Now, I noticed somebody mentioned that the fans are going to be on the front. Well, they're actually going to be on the front, but they're going to be underneath the cover, which is going to be interesting. Now, Paul, are these intake or exhaust fans on the front that are attached to the radiator?
So on the front, those are intake.
Got it.
Bring
So we're pushing air through that radiator.
That's right. Yep.
Nice. Shasta mentions he has an i7 13700KF and a 4070, and it's perfect. Yeah, perfectly powerful PC. And I have the 13900 and the 3090, and it's, yeah,
Do you mind if we change
it's an amazing performance.
to graphics?
Oh, yeah.
So I
Ooh.
get the last of the feed.
Yeah, because this is going to be an interesting one. So, oops. Again, our graphics card. This is going to be a fun one. This is a RTX 4090 24 gig. But Paul, why is this different? And let's talk about everything that this card's got going on, because this is very different. And I don't remember the last time we've ever, or if we've ever done one on the show.
Yeah, so this is a RTX 4090. This is the MSI Supreme. So you can see we've got one fan, then we also have an AIO built into it. So we're gonna attach two fans here, and this is gonna go in the top of the case. And then this card will install like normal, but we'll have two radiators in the case. And then it also has a fan to cool it as well, so.
So from a performance standpoint, this thing's going to rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this thing's gonna perform really well.
Nice. Nice.
It's a pretty cool card.
Oh yeah.
So I take it you're a fan?
Big fan. I am not seeing any SATA cables with this power supply.
What?
Brand new, no SATA cables.
SATA cables.
We'll have to go get one of those.
Did the Need for Speed movie have a story? Oh, I didn't even. You know what? I missed the fact that there was a Need for Speed movie, probably because. Wait, Need for Speed as in like Fast and Furious? Probably very similar. What games did you compete in? I competed in Halo. So I have the Emmy National Championship title for the summer of 2015. So yeah, for Griffball.
Okay.
Yep.
2 slots.
Nice, and also welcome in, Sailor. Nothing tops Speed Racer. Oh God, was that movie any good? The live action. I just.
That is so weird. Okay.
I've always wondered about that. I never actually have taken the time. Right now, I've been working through like while I was sick. When I'm sick, I'm a miserable person, and I just cuddle up on the couch with the dogs under a blanket with water and tea, and then watch TV until I fall asleep. And so I've been working my way through because I never finished The Walking Dead because I got really irritated with the whole Negan character. Well, now I'm the end of season 9, and what a character arc! Such a great turnaround. Now, given the weight of this card, do you think that we'll be needing an anti-sag bracket?
Yes, this is the Obelisk case, which does come with a built-in stander right here. So once I get everything set up, I will get this attached and mounted so that it's secure. But this guy is a pretty secure card. As we can see, it's a hard 2 slot, so it's not a whole lot of weight on it. Okay.
Now, this is obviously a 240 here. Uh-oh. Now, this is going to be interesting. So let's talk about how you're positioning this and how you're going to manage that, because that's a lot of hose.
Yes.
In this house.
So ideally, we don't want to have too much of like crampedness. If we have like both of our head, if we do a top down, like how we have our fan hoses right here. Ideally that, like, we could possibly make that work, but it's just going to be a lot cleaner to have it out of that way. So we'll probably go this route with it. And then have
alrighty.
a little fan there.
Right. I said it and then realized what I'd said, and that was definitely oops, my bad. Yeah. And now we're going to get our 2 fans on there. Now, for our fans, talk about these real fast. These are Game Obelisk M2 ARGB. I would say the most used fan we've had on this show ever so far.
These are a classic staple. Have RGBs around the ring and in the hub.
Yes. But I do like the fact that we're doing a Stormtrooper build, which is good.
Yes.
All black and white.
Yes. Looks really clean. And then we have like that steel color for the graphics card, which looks real nice.
Nice. Yes, absolutely. And get the fans attached to this. And then that's going to be attached to the top right there.
Correct.
Now, as far as what games, I know that coming back to the question of what games we're currently playing. Yeah. The other thing that I've really been excited and waiting for is that I've wanted to try and play is the Gollum game.
Huh.
I believe it already came out, but that's one of those games that I just haven't ever had a chance to. Although I did start replaying Dishonored. God, I forgot how much I love that game. It's really good.
Okay. I'm going this way, Paul.
All right.
Instead of this way, because I don't know. Yeah, I can't get it.
Yeah, with all the hoses. Okay. Yeah.
So I decided to
Oh,
go
is it
this
Cosworth?
way. Do we want to try and put the other fan up here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That will push this far enough back to where these probably won't. So we get a choice of either this guy or this
Let's
guy.
do one in the rear. Yeah, let's do that.
I will. Saska brought up a very good point. I meant to try and get to it, and I didn't. And that is the fact that if you take a look at the entire computing power of what it took to get the Apollo moon mission taken care of computer-wise, there is more power in this phone than there was in all the computers combined for that mission. Which is bonkers to me. Absolute bonkers. All right, getting the final fan up on top.
I don't think so, because back in middle school, we were required to have a thumb drive. I spent $80 and got 80 megabytes.
80 megabytes. Wow.
2 years later, when I was in 8th grade in middle school, had to buy another thumb drive. I spent $80 and got 80 gigabytes. You know, time. It does not take much time for space to get big.
I want to say it was probably like 04 or 05 is when I got my first external drive. It was a Western Digital book drive. They looked like these plastic books.
Yeah, I think that looks good right there.
And it was, I want to say I got it on sale for $459, and it was 256 gigs. That's it. Like, I have, what is this? I have a 1 terabyte micro SD here. Like, come on. Good grief. All right, now I'm really in the mood to go make some tea. This is definitely going to happen today. We have all these stories. Oh, God, yeah. Shasta mentioned, I think my grandfather had a Mac with 1 meg of hard drive, and that was a lot at the time. Like, there was computers back in the day ran on basically bubble gum and hamster wheels. Blue Fab says, I paid $110 for my first hard disk drive I bought for myself. It was a 1 terabyte Western Digital Black in 2010. Nice.
I remember my sister got an external 3 terabyte. And she had it plugged into her PlayStation, and it was just full of movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. I have an 8 terabyte Seagate backup drive attached to my streaming system.
When she brought that home, I'm like, dude, you're never filling that up. That's so much room.
Fill it up.
Yep.
Now if you're storing them in 2K or 4K, it's even more.
Which is wild. Like I when we put the 4 terabyte M.2 in mine for my game drive, I had at no point would have thought we would have I would have even filled it up halfway. And we're a little over halfway on it.
Thank you, Call of Duty.
Dude, right? Well, yeah, actually, it's Call of Duty Cold War Zombies. I had to download the whole darn game.
I'm excited for so I remember physical copies. I was really excited for a physical hard drive of Call of Duty. Yeah. Just like, here's your 6 terabyte hard drive of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That would have been ideal.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, so I think right now I have 2 gigs left.
2 gigs?
I'm sorry, I have 2 terabytes left on my 4 terabyte.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's do this.
I love going to disk management and play with things. I nearly bought a 32 meg thumb drive off of eBay when looking for a 32 gig. Oh, yeah.
That would have
Got to look at that fine print. That fine print is very, very important.
Those M's do look like G's.
Right? Okay. Now, what are you connecting there?
These are all of our fans. I'm just getting them plugged in order so that if we ever have an issue, it's easy to manage. Dink.
Yeah, and if you've seen the show before, you've probably seen us plug these fans into a black controller box. Essentially what you're seeing there that Zach's plugging it into is what's inside of those boxes. So it's the same hardware in there, it's just already installed in the case. So that's why we don't need to have like a box around it with any magnetic strips or double-sided tape or anything like that to install it.
That's funny. 6.
By the way, I have I want to say thank you to everybody who's DMing me right now. I've got like, I don't know, 14 whispers. Everybody's like, hey, try this for your sore throat. And I was having, and G-Code has mentioned that, you know, obviously we know the honey and the lemon thing, but I don't have any lemons, but I do have a whole bag of fresh limes. And so I just looked it up, and actually you can use, limes and lemons are interchangeable. Oh, yeah. So I can use lime and honey. Yes. Do you have hard candy?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say, when life gives you limes.
You make a margarita.
Oh, yeah.
Go ask your grandma for a strawberry.
Might have some.
She'll have some strawberry candies. Mm-hmm. Or Werther's original.
Oh, those are addictive. Those are as addictive as pistachio nuts.
What am I going to eat while I'm in Vegas? Nothing but Oreos.
And Werther's.
And Werther's.
Oh, God, yeah.
Last time it's been many years since I've been to Vegas, but last time we were there, we were down on Fremont Street at one of the casinos there, and they would just come by and serve you like deep fried Oreos,
yes,
deep fried Twinkies, and all that good stuff.
I'm going to be looking, obviously, for some sushi. Because, you know me, I love sushi.
Already,
but I've also, again,
Nobu,
never...
But, you know.
I've never had... I've never been to Vegas, so I don't know what to do there. I know there's supposedly some sort of an after-hours party for the event, and I think I'm just going to kind of wander. I want to go along the strip. I want to see that giant fountain in front of the Bellagio. Oh, yeah. Is that where it's in front of?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. It's always looked awesome. It's one of those things where, you know, deep-fried okra. Oh, you damn right deep-fried okra is good. Especially if you got that. If you got a nice spicy breading.
There's like a overhead light show on Fremont Street. We should probably go check out at some point where it's all outside and the whole
ceiling.
Yeah, the whole
that
row.
I thought that was in
show.
like a Batman video game.
No, just Google
way.
Fremont Street light show. There's a zip line.
I'm gonna have so much fun.
What? Going. Yeah.
Oh wait, I think I saw that on The Amazing Race. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. 3 of you hangover style bachelor's party in Vegas. Listen.
Yeah.
Hey, shush. Shush.
If that happens,
shush.
We are. First of all, I'm already wanting to know about where we're going to find the tiger, and if we can make friends with it. But if that happens, George is going to be very irritated.
George's going to be on that zip line 24/7. You already know.
Right? Oh my God. Honestly, I want to try it. I want to try it so bad. This is going to be so cool. Yeah, I'm very, I'm glad I'm going now as an adult, finally.
I'm trying to
feel like I would have gotten into it. Because I've tried going 4 different times, and all 4 times it just never worked out.
Okay.
DJ gets an Iron Mike tattoo. DJ gets an Iron Mike tattoo. Paul's missing a tooth, and Zach's knocked out.
Sounds like a good time.
Right? Hey, listen, nothing says fun like oopsie. Right? Uh-oh. I'm making sure it's still working. What? Sorry, Mike.
There we go. We could do.
I wish the Facebook interface wasn't weird. All right. There we go. So, what do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze? Do they dream of mauling zebras or... Wow, Dadzilla. We went there.
My man.
Oh my gosh. Jump back up to Control-Alt-Deleted. Grandma should also have Vicks. Also true.
Dude, my grandma would, like, you do Vicks on the chest,
Slather
whatever.
it. Yeah.
She'd, like, eat some of it and claim that would help. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yep, it definitely does. No face tattoos. Okay, now here's going to be a weird thing, James. In my youth, I had my, I had piercings. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 piercings.
On your eyebrows? Whoa.
And
All on
the one thing I've never all on one eyebrow. But the problem is I've never gotten a tattoo in my life. I want one. I've been planning one, but the other side of the coin is I have arms that are built like a Barbie doll. Like this is about as thick as they'll ever get. And I have tried working out, nothing happens.
Get some barbed wire. Classic.
Can we tattoo some hair on your head? I mean,
People are doing
oh
it.
my God. If I come back from Vegas with
Hair.
with Aang's little blue arrow,
Oh, yeah.
that would be questionable at best. But also not completely out of the realm of possibility.
I will pay for it.
Yep. Or maybe just a CLX logo. I mean, I'll be honest. I remember when a bunch of people got the Mixer logo tattooed at PAX South, and it was that summer was when Mixer just died.
Whoops.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, we already got that one. Lukey 007. Nice PC. Thank you. That's our goal. You put this in backwards?
What's that? Sorry?
Did you put that in backwards?
Did I put what in backwards?
You went to slide it in and looked at it like it was...
Oh, no. Yeah, I was I was making sure that I did put it in the right way.
You want to have that fan on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. I get it upside down.
For the intake. Got it.
Okay, that's done. Like,
I know.
why does it say CPU on
threw
one
me off
side?
a little bit. Yep. Doesn't have the split 4+4 on one of them.
That's the hardcore one.
Oh yeah.
So what kind of a power supply, what kind of power feed does the graphics card take? Is it a full size? This is a 4090, but it's liquid cooled, so it's got a different power consumption rate?
So it's going to take the same high voltage connector, the new, what is this, a 12-pin connector, I believe. So this is the new stuff for the 40 series, so that's what we'll be using. Same thing there. And that will, power the card and the radiator.
So fancy.
Nice.
Now the fans that will be on the radiator are going to be plugged into our fan controller box, so they will be getting power through that.
Awesome. There we go. Again, things that Zach can do that it makes look easy, that it would take me hours and hours to get that all pulled together.
We can get you learned up in one day. Turn the lights off in a dark
honestly,
room.
I would
hold
love
a
to come out.
flashlight in a corner, and we just start unplugging cables.
I would love to, if I ever get to come out to the studio, that would be fun if I could just, on stream, build a PC. See if I can figure out and do, since I've watched you guys do it 8,000 times.
Can we do it BBC David Attenborough style? And now, the tender gazelle installs the graphics card. Oh, look,
First
the
of all-
crocodile has come out of the water. And the gazelle has turned into a water buffalo, and he's now fighting the crocodile. Just we could have a really good show.
Total narration.
Like that.
Oh yeah.
I have one question.
And
How exactly is a gazelle gonna use a screwdriver?
Exactly. It's
Two hooves.
yeah. Life finds a way. Jeff Goldblum said it. Life finds a way.
Yep, always. Nathan 2K over there on the green side asks, "Hi guys, what's better, AMD or Intel for just purely gaming? Looking to get a new rig. My friends also just AMD, but unsure as I had no problems with my Intel."
Yes, that's a great question that we get asked all the time. So right now, AMD and Intel are both performing really great as far as gaming goes and other tasks as well. Now, depending on what you're playing and everything, there's a lot of hype around the 7800X 3D right now. That's a really solid processor, just the regular 7800X. So that's a solid processor to go with. So, look at what you're wanting to play and what frame rate and resolution that you're going to be playing at, and that'll kind of help you narrow it down. But really, you can't go wrong nowadays.
Yeah. Now I have one of each. For gaming though, I'm very much a purist when it comes to that. I'm Intel only for gaming. I know everybody wants to say AMD, but yeah, I just trust Intel wholeheartedly on that one. I've always had good experiences gaming on that. Now for production, because I have a 2 PC system, I have my streaming PC. That is an AMD build. I love AMD for production because of the way they function. But a lot of people like exactly the reverse or the opposite. So it really is just a personal preference.
Personal preference, strawberry milk or chocolate milk?
Chocolate all day for me.
No milk, because otherwise I will myself. Word.
Every once in a while, Christian will walk in and he's got a Highland jug of chocolate milk, and I'm like, you meanie head.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't buy that stuff. I'll drink it in a day. I could go through a half gallon of chocolate milk a day easy. So
I will drink myself sick. Thank you very much. That sounds like a great time.
I love it. Dadzilla said it perfectly. Intel offers the best viewing experience for watching DJ die in 4K. Excuse me. I laughed until I coughed. Wolfenheinz, welcome in. How's it going? Warhand, hello. My wife's PC is full of cat hair and wants me to clean it. Lucky me.
Nice. Hopefully you've got some removable filters you can just pop out easy.
Yeah.
And wipe it down.
Joey, I don't know. I believe there was one that was given out earlier by none other than our friend Ivory.
Joey Wheels.
I believe the last one that was given out is Spring UDNS. It's SPRG UDNS. I missed the saying it, but that is SPRG. It's like spring without the I or the N. And then UDNS, like under detrimental necessary serenity. Uniform Delta November Sierra. Here we go. You're getting a rig built by you guys. Was hoping to see it on the show. Well, Crispy, if you let, I don't know how long ago you ordered it, but if you let customer service know, they're, as long as it doesn't delay it being built, who knows? Can't guarantee anything, though.
Yeah, if you want to reach out on Discord or if you want to tag Ivory in the chat real quick, and you can, kind of DM him. That way you're not putting your information in a public chat. We can see what we can do.
Shin Spikes, if you just scroll up, it's just above there. It is SPRG UDNS Sierra Papa Romeo Golf Dash Uniform Delta November Sierra. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't. That was one thing about the tech offices at Microsoft, was whenever somebody came in with a cat hair filled, I'd leave the room. I'm so allergic to cats, it's not even funny. Wolfenheinz, if you just scroll up, Again, you guys should be able to see this. It is SPRG UDNS.
I've got a second one if you wanted, Zach, but I felt like that was probably good.
Yeah, it's just the fans and the hard drive.
Here we go.
Okay, if I can plug it in.
Warhead mentions I built my last 2 PCs, but I will have CLX build my next one. Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Thank you.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, like PC enthusiasts, it's always a great thank you. Like, sounds like the Halo announcer. Well, ironically, I'm the announcer for Griffball. So, yeah. But that is Jeff Steitzer, and I absolutely love it. Look at this. This thing looks amazing. I'm impressed. I'm really loving what you did with those tubes, my dude.
Thank you.
Look at that. That's so clean.
That is clean. Norma Jean. Well, as clean as that is, let me talk. I want to take people on a quick tour then. And that tour is going to be how you can get your hands on an amazing PC just like this one. Over at clxgaming.com, we make it as easy as possible as it is to try to get yourself the PC of your dreams and also make sure that it works and is completely compatible for you. You don't have to be an expert to build it. You just have to start picking your pieces, picking your parts from AMD to Intel, NVIDIA to Radeon. We've got pretty much everything. And, well, we do basically have everything. The one-stop shopping center. Plus, you don't have to worry about compatibility because we've got a built-in compatibility checker. That little green button is going to turn to yellow if you make a mistake. So, or choose something that's not going to quite work with something else. The one I like to use is DDR4 RAM versus the DDR5 motherboard. Say you choose a DDR5 motherboard and DDR4 RAM. Well, the system's going to say, like, look, you can either choose one of these DDR5 RAMs or choose one of these DDR4 boards. But you're going to have to do one or the other so we can solve the conflict. Once the conflict is resolved, that button goes back to green and you can continue on. Now, there are tons of options that you can have here, including overclocking for your CPU, your GPU, or both. You can do upgraded thermal paste on there. We've got multiple different cooling solutions, open loop, closed loop. We even have accessories, like wild accessories. It's crazy. So, not only can you get clothing, like the CLX shirt that I'm wearing, you can barely see right there, and the windbreaker that I would wear, but it's really warm down here because my housemate is a kiln on. We also have every peripheral you could think of, whether it is keyboards, mice, controllers, headsets. We've got streaming gear like Beacon Mix Creates and Beacon Mics. We've got capture cards. You can even get a chair or a router from us, and it's all right here on our website. Now, some people get a little bit nervous, like, I don't know if I'm really interested in trying to build my own machine. Don't worry. Down on the left-hand side, you'll see where it says ready to ship. Our ready-to-ship models are already pre-built, pre-tested, and waiting for a home that might be yours. We have all sorts of different ranges, from entry-level to mid-range, high-performance, and then, of course, ultra. All of these will do great things, and you'll be able to see what you can do with that and what your price range is. So if you're working on a budget, this is a great place to start. So for all of your future PC gaming needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and see how we can help you today.
Warhand, yes we can. Is it possible to have you build a PC without a GPU? You have a 3080 at home.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yep. Here we go. Now, this is what's gorgeous. I love how this looks. One of the best things that I think is great about this case is the little ring on the door to just pop it open. There you go. Yep. You just pull it, pops. It's just, door just swings. Makes it easy for access, easy cleaning. It'll be awesome. All right. So, without further ado, let's see what's going on here for our friend Chandra in South Carolina. Wow, that is bright. Oh, that'll light up a whole room.
Yeah, this thing looks great.
That is absolutely incredible. Well done, guys. That's honestly, that's brilliant. I love it. You can see where all that the front two venting holes give great airflow to pull in, push through that radiator, and of course exhaust out and up. So excellent. This can be a great build. I'm excited to hear how Chandra likes it. So once again, let's go over what's inside this amazing PC for Chandra in South Carolina. This, of course, is a Set Obelisk glass mid-tower in white. It has an Intel Core i9-14900KF processor mounted on an ASRock Z790C Wi-Fi ATX motherboard. It has 64 gigs of DDR5 5200 RAM by Giel and a water-cooled GeForce RTX 4090 graphics card. Operating systems on a 2TB Patriot P300 M.2, and of course our CPU is going to be cooled by a CLX Quench 360 closed-loop liquid cooler. We have an additional 4TB Western Digital hard disk drive, and then we're using 7 different GameDS Aeolus M2 fans with a 1,000-watt GameDS Helios 80+ Gold power supply. Well done. It's going to be fun. Now, Paul, where does this computer go now that we're done building it?
Yeah, so now that we're done building and it's powered on, it's going to go to our testing and integration department. And so the first thing we do there is get into the BIOS of the machine. We'll make sure our RAM speed's set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up. So for this system, the M.2 and the hard disk drive. And then after that, we may mess around with a couple other settings depending on the configuration. And then once that's all set, we'll actually load the system. So the operating system, if you picked any games on our website, that's where we would load those. If you didn't pick any games and you're just getting an operating system, then that's all we install. We don't put any bloatware on our machines. You're not going to get a bunch of different antivirus softwares that you don't want or anything like that. Just a fresh, clean install of the operating system. And then once everything's installed, we will actually put the system through a 12-hour burn-in or stress test. And what that does is allows us to make sure the system's stable. So sometimes you can have a component in here that may work and turn on, but once your gaming causes it to fail. And that's why we do that testing, to make sure that that doesn't happen and that you get a stable machine.
Speaking of stable machines, Ivor tried to get one past everybody, and that is Skra, SKRA-HRSA. It's right there. You can see that for your final code that we're going to be giving out right now before we take our break. Now, keep in mind this show happens in 2 parts, and what's going to happen in just a few, we're going to take a break, and you're going to get to spend the afternoon when we come back with Zach as he continues building all sorts of fun things. Now, this show happens Tuesdays and Thursdays, although next Thursday we will not be on, at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. We will make sure we drop codes on the green side, so we're on Kick, on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, right here on the Twitch side. And then, of course, you can also find codes along with all of the best and greatest information to keep up to date with all things CLX Gaming, and that's at YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. You can also potentially find codes and hang out with a bunch of like-minded PC enthusiasts over at our Discord. That's discord.gg/CLX Gaming. The other place you can find them is on my streams, and I will be doing one today, and I'll making up for missing my show on Tuesdays. I'm going to give out 2 codes today. It'll be a lot of fun. So, with that being said, on behalf of Jason and Kyle in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.
What is up, Scooby Gang? I hope everybody is having a fantastic day today. We've got a pretty fun, this is a G500. There's a G500 and a P500. Difference is where the power button sits. One sits on the front, one sits on the top. So this is a G500. I also have with us today an AMD Ryzen 9 7950X. AM5 processor. We have also a 360 millimeter liquid cooler brought to us by our friends over at S-Tech. And I have an ASRock X670E Pro RS motherboard that does have Wi-Fi built onto it. We've got 32 gigabits of 5600 megahertz on our memory modulars today. So these are 16 gigabyte sticks a piece. We also have an ever classic favorite, a single terabyte on NVMe. And just like our previous build, we're also slapping in a hard drive. This is a 4 terabyte green from Seagate, a Barracuda. Ooh, the Barracuda. So nice, lots of storage in this device. We've got 5 terabytes right there. And then we've got a pretty sick super-de-duper PNY 4080 Super Edition. That is a 16 gigabyte card. So we've got lots of gigabyte, lots of video memory, so we can play really good games at really great speed. And then we have an 850 watt power supply as well. Okay, let me drop this case down here and we can get started. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to shout them out. I will do my very best to hit you back with a proper response. I've got Twitch, Kick, and TikTok up, so, and then I've got Facebook in the ear. Yeah, that's how we do it. I'm in the metaverse. Okay. I'm a big fan of ASRock motherboards. They have a special feature. It's not the button, but it's pretty close to that graphics card. It was done on the last show. It is this extra standoff hole. Okay. So ASRock has been doing their extra standoff hole. I call it either ASRock's 7th or 10th hole. This being a full-size ATX motherboard, we have our 9 standoff spots. So we've got this extra one right here. It's in a superb spot just underneath our PCI for our graphics card, which, as you can also see, is surrounded by silver. That is considered a reinforced PCI slot. The reason why we've started to get into those is because we have super big heavy graphics cards. That's why we have anti-sag brackets. That just helps to relieve pressure on those solder joints. So, Facebook is in my ear. Yeah, it is. Alrighty. When it comes to installing processors, every processor has a key on it. If we are looking at our AM5 right here, we can see up in this top corner we have a nice little gold triangle. That is keyed for the key for our processor. If we look down here on our processor cap, we also have another triangle over in this corner. So when we go to install, it can only be installed this direction. Even though it is a square, it will not work. You can't force it in either because there are little notches on the top and bottom that are also keyed and offset, so it can only go down this direction. Like I said, that is the same for every processor, whether it's an Intel, a Threadripper, or a Xeon chip. They will all have a key in one of the corners, and the motherboard will be keyed as well. And that is where that will get set up. So with our Ace-Tech hardware right here, this is for an AMD system. So our kit can work on an AM4 processor or an AM5 processor. It's really nice. So if we ever if we were playing with this system and we had an AM4 processor and then we upgraded everything, our motherboard and our processor, we could carry over our liquid cooler if it hasn't met its life. So with these guys, they are keyed just like our processor. We've got ribs on one end and it's flush on the other side. The flush side says AM4 and the ribbed side says AM5. With this being an AM5, we're gonna have those AM5 sides high. And then we can install our standoff posts. So we've got a short section of fine threads and a big section of coarse threads. Those coarse threads go down and they are screwing and mounting onto a back plate. From these 4 screws here, here, and here, those are from the factory holding, that is the socket cover. So let me screw this one down. On the back side of our AMD motherboard, we have a nice solid back plate that is always mounted to, and that is a secure piece of metal, so it's very solid when we go and attach our equipment to this. We do have with us today an AM5. So we'll go ahead and place you there. Installation of thermal paste can be quite tricky. There are lots of helpful hints and guides on the internet. If we put a pea size, we're going to have enough conductive power to where we can keep everything cooled off. Bing and bing. Perfect. Why would we ever want to apply thermal paste, and how much thermal paste is needed for what application we're wanting to do? Well, I'll tell you this. If you notice that your system runs cool, applying new thermal paste, or runs hot, applying new thermal paste might be needed. You might just have to pick some fuzzies out from your fans in your radiator. Sometimes it might be your thermal paste has gotten a little bit old, so you might have to upgrade it, update it with some new stuff. That's very simple. You just unscrew 4 screws, unplug the fan header, that's all that's plugged in, and then you can wipe off and reapply. Thermal paste can last a good long time, but it can dry out and you will definitely see differences. So I just have a light layer applied there. And just like Grandpa taught us when changing a tire on the tractor, you don't go around the hub in a circle, you jump from corner to corner. That applies equal pressure as you are tightening your system down. With the pins being on the motherboard, you can damage those pins by super tightening down a processor, and by super tightening down. If we started there and then went to there, or did the same start here and did just the top, we would be applying super pressure to that side, and it would be not good for those what are they called? Wow, pins. Wow, that one took a long time. You can really damage some pins if you don't bounce. So bounce around. Get up, get down. And when attaching a radiator or a heat sink, it will come with a fan header usually. So we will want to go to our CPU fan. That is pre-programmed in the BIOS to run at max beans. So that is what we want our water solution to do inside of our radiator. There are two different types of liquid coolers out on the market. There's all-in-ones, what we're installing here, and then there's open loops. Open loops are just that. The loop is open, so you can add liquid to it. You can remove air pockets from it. You can do a lot of work with it. It does require a little bit more maintenance than my all-in-one here, which I never have to touch once I install. This system can usually last 5-6 years or so, depending on what type of conditions we are using it for and how often we clean it. Just like a race car, those things get pushed to the max all the time, and then they have maintenance done to them afterward. So just like a computer, if all you're doing is just hanging around a couple hours a week playing, you're going to be fine. It's going to last you a good long time. But if you get out there and you're like streaming 8 hours a day, and then after that you are watching content for 6 hours, that's heating that system up, and you'd want to have better thermal paste and just better parts so that they can maintain that longevity. You forgot thermal paste under the chip. Yeah, that is how you overclock. Just kidding. It's not how you overclock. What's going on? Howdy ho. Fins get clogged sometimes after 3 to 5 years. Yes, that is true. That's why basic maintenance, blowing out your radiator, if you got to pull fans off of it to get little kitten fur chunks out from behind it to keep it clean, that is going to be great. You can see that we can really kind of see through here at certain angles, so that's kind of really what you want to keep it at. If you can see big clogs in there, get you a little blower, blow it out, get a toothpick and pick the big stuff out of it. 16 gigabytes a piece at 5600 megahertz, so we've got some pretty fast memory today. And we are going to be populating bay 2 and bay 4. If we only had one stick of 64 gigabytes, then we'd just be populating bay 2. And then from there, we go from 2 to 4, and then we're filling all 4 bays. Consult a motherboard manual if you have questions on how your setup needs to be. It does differ. It's usually universal on an ATX motherboard, but once you jump over to like a Threadripper board or an EATX, an Intel Extreme motherboard, that is where those guys will have a little bit different configurations. Server motherboards do the same. NVMe drives, how fast are they and can they be faster? Yes and yes. So a NVMe drive is 6 times faster than a hard drive. So this guy is what we are going to have our operating system on, so that when we push that power button on our computer, it's going to pop up and load up, hey, Windows wants to know your password. Once you hit that password, it's going to pop up your window, your main page really fast. If we had our operating system loaded onto this 4 terabyte hard drive, yes, we would be going pretty fast, but we would also be able to probably make a pot of coffee after we hit the power button. And then once that pot has been brewed, we could enter in our password to get it going to the main screen, and then we could go back into the kitchen, finish making our cup of coffee, and come back, and it would probably be set up ready for you to start doing what you want to do. So that is where NVMe is extremely quick. The reasons being is, look at where it's mounted. It is directly mounted onto the motherboard, whereas our hard drive will require a cable, and cables is where you get transfer speeds and having more load times. It's having to go across a surface, whereas this is a pretty quick line for thinking. I think I saw the rocket model. Correct. Yes. Just like with your memory modulars, if you do have questions about where to set up your NVMEs, they are kind of specific, whether or not what kind of generation you have. You can install a like Gen 3 or Gen 4 into a Gen 5 slot. It will just operate at that Gen 3, Gen 4 speed. And I believe I'm going to be top mounting this today. Is it that way? Well, let's just bring it up here. Oh, not quite yet. Let's open up our Super. Like I said, this is a 16 gigabyte card. So we've got display ports. Okay, if I can cut it open here. Need a new knife. This thing's dull. 3 years of work. Okay, we've got display ports on here, and I believe it's 3 of those with one HDMI. Put that there. Has stealth mode, so just like our power supplies having that eco mode, the fans won't spin until we put a pull onto or a load onto the card. That makes it nice and quiet, so our system runs a little bit quieter. We've got all of the fun stickies. And even more. Don't forget to peel all of your peels. That's how you unlock all of your frames per second. True words. Okay. So yes, we've got, count them, 1 2 3 and 1 HDMI down there. So 3 display ports, 1 HDMI. I'm assuming you can have all 4 of those plugged in at the same time, up to 4 monitors if you wanted to, and it would run superbly. The reason why I say that is because I was doing that on a 2060 3 years ago, and it was running good until it artifacted because I was pulling so much off of it at the same time. So, a 4 series is definitely going to be able to rock lots of monitors. This is an 850 watt Helios by Game DS. We do have a the high volt, the 12 pin high volt cable. which is nice because our graphics card does require that, so we will not be using the dongle. We get to direct plug. Direct plug is always a fun way to plug stuff in. That's why I like LAN ports over Wi-Fi ports. I still call LAN cards Wi-Fi cards, but that's because I'm a little crazy, I think. There we go. So this is a white, what did I say, G or P? G500? Yeah. Looks very similar to the Evolve X. Yes, I thoroughly love this case. They've got these cases down. It's like a P200, P300, P400, P500, and they're all like Russian nesting dolls, just fit right in each other. And then the 500s, they pulled some stuff from their Evolve X line, which is really nice that they did that. We've got super cool equipment. Okay. Take my hard drive. And I believe, yes, I know I had hard drive screws. Looks like the last of my hard drive screws. And we will go ahead and install our hard drive into our hard drive bay. This case can hold quite a bit of storage. We've got up to 4 trays that we can install inside our power supply shroud. So those can hold SSDs or HDDs. Then if we order more hard drive cages, we can house, if we see all these little sliding doors, each door can hold another 2. So I think, but it's like offset. The bottom one, it doesn't hold. So it's like we can hold 2, 4, 6 more hard drives like connected upside in there. We've got 3 bays right here for SSDs. And then all of these little rubber dipples there. That one goes there, so we can hold 1, 2, 3 SSDs there. And 1, 2, 3 SSDs here. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 SSDs, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hard drives. Just straight up, just with this case alone. So if you're looking for something with maximum storage, I'd say look no further. I'm not sure. DJ was sick on Tuesday. That's why he was gone. Okay. Let me get this here and here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and drop this motherboard. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be madman and mix that up there. It is going quite well. Cage, how are you today? We're going to drop this in just like that. And boom. Oh, that'd be sick. A Punisher theme build would be pretty dope. I've been thinking about bringing my system in and putting my light strips into this case. I've got 4 lights of Game DS. Okay. And but all of my fans are black fans because I don't like having a whole lot of color in my case. I don't know. I grew up with just blue. Couldn't change it from anything but blue. So I'm okay not looking at, you know, crazy, insane, awesome because I got to build it every day. Nice. But I do enjoy just getting to play around with all type of equipment. I need one more, and this goes back here. And let's see, how do we want this? Oh man, that looks pretty clean right there. So we could set things up this way, or we could set things up this way. When setting a radiator up this direction, you want to make sure that these tubes right here don't run into this fan. They could just slowly sandpaper rub the housing away. That won't be a good thing. Or if it's back too far, it might cause this fan to not spin. So that's where we can either have it slid forward. I like that little J. Or we can go with it to the front, and it looks pretty clean that way. Yes, Firecracker. This one had just need, because with ASRock having that one standoff that is extra, I being the server builder usually install that because I'm just used to always populating standoffs. Blue supremacy. Okay, so now we're just going to slide these fans in. These are our nice 120 RGBs. Go for it. Sorry. I don't know if I'm out or... There we go. No worries. Nice. Thank you, Kyle, on Facebook. Have you posted any pictures to our Discord showing us your setup and letting us know what you're using it for? Because if not, you should. I was scrolling through down yellow. I was scrolling through there yesterday, actually, just scrolling up, seeing what people had posted, seeing what cool stuff. I noticed a couple things I might have laid hands on.